Hey, good morning, everybody. We are happy to have Kristen doing the rally today. And by the way, John turned off those two speakers back there. Is it easier for you guys to hear than it has been in the past? Okay. Well, there still is white noise. Ooh, are we getting some feedback? Anyway, there's still some white noise speakers over there, and then there's those two over there that are still on. I don't know. Okay, so it's October. Some of you, maybe on the call or here, might be thinking about taking an exam. Right? October is usually when the exams come, October and April. I know of at least one person that's taking the SE this time around, but I wanted to share with all of you a new program that or an enhancement to our benefits. So we're going to offer PTO for people that are taking the PE and the SE exams to help them prepare for the exam, and also for the time that you spend at the exam. So basically for the PE exam, there is going to be 1 day of study time plus a day to take the exam. So that's 16 hours. And for the SE exam, we're giving people 2 days to study and 2 days to take the exam because it's a longer exam. Also, if you are not an engineer, but you have a certification that is part of your profession that you would like to study for and take, we're also offering some time for that. So anyway, that's what I want to share with you, and I'm going to turn over to Chris. Oh, there's more. But wait, there's more. Bill and Brianna, I think, have been, and there might be others involved, I'm not entirely informed on that, but Bill and Brianna have been setting up a group of engineers that are studying for the exams, getting ready to take the exams. You'll have to talk to one of them about what they're doing, but the company is offering to purchase resources for those that are preparing to take these exams, code books, other things. And I've met with Brianna and Bill, and they understand, they've got some things in place. They're looking at the right resources that would help individuals prepare for the exam, because the exams now are electronic. At least they're not like they used to be when I took it, open book, writing things out by hand. Now it's all on a screen. So they're looking at purchasing the electronic versions of the codes so that those can be available for people that are studying for the exam. So these are codes like the AASHTO code and others that we, beyond what we use on our day-to-day basis, but information that you need to have to study and prepare. So
no more wagon to have to haul in all your books to the test.
For the PE, that's the case. For the SE, Brian, do you have to take a hand cart?
Take a hand cart.
You get to do that this month.
SE is going digital in 2024.
Yeah, so it's coming. So you might want to think about taking it before 2024. Anyway, all right, that's it.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Kristen. I'm doing the rally today. A little bit about me. I mostly grew up in Utah. I've lived a lot of other places, but my cumulative time in Utah is enough that this is where I consider home. Graduated from Hillcrest in 2004, which makes me a lot older than I think a lot of you think I am. Some people know that my original background is in healthcare. I got my first degree in sports medicine from the University of Utah, and then I enlisted in the Navy as a hospital corpsman, which is their version of a medic. I intended to go to medical school on their dime, ended up deciding the Navy wasn't for me, And so I got out and decided to make a change. And here I am. I'll graduate with my bachelor's in civil engineering in December. And I am just really excited to be here. So as I've made this career transition, I've actually been really surprised at how much has translated. You wouldn't think that a lot translates from healthcare to engineering. But today I want to talk to you about one of the things that I feel like really does translate, and that's safety culture and teamwork. When I was I was stationed at naval hospitals in Naples, Italy. I was a Team STEPPS instructor, and Team STEPPS is a framework that was developed by the Department of Defense to enhance patient safety and improve patient outcomes. And we don't really work with patients, but since one of our ethical commitments is to hold paramount the safety of the public, this is a framework that also can work for us. And it's built on 5 key principles, which include team structure, communication, leadership, situation monitoring, and mutual support. And I want to go over each of those principles just briefly today. So the first one is team structure. And in healthcare, we work in a multi-team system that includes the administration, all of the doctors, all of the nurses, any specialty workers, any of that, and they all work to support the patient. Similarly, in engineering, we are also part of a multi-team system. And you could argue about who kind of goes where in this diagram, but ultimately, we are here to support the safety of the public. Next, I want to talk about communication. There's 2 communication techniques that we used in healthcare that I think also could be helpful for us. The first is SBAR. When you're talking to somebody here internally, or maybe a client or a contractor, SBAR is an acronym that helps us frame the information in a way that's easily digestible. We give the situation, say, hey, I'm working on the roof for this stairwell. The background, we've already done the walls, we've already done the stairs, we just need the roof. We can do our assessment. I've assessed all of the loading conditions. It's subject to these particular loads, and then we give our recommendation. I recommend W8x12s for this roof framing system. Another example of a technique we could use is called closed loop communication, which is also sometimes called the check back. And in this system, the sender will initiate a message, the receiver will accept and provide feedback on the message, and then the sender double checks to ensure the message was received. So in medicine, that would be something like, hey, give 25 milligrams of Ativan. 25 milligrams of Ativan. Yes, that is correct. So it's a closed loop. Everybody knows that the message is being sent. They know that the correct message is being received. And that's something we also can employ. The next principle I want to talk about is leadership. And within the Team STEPPS framework, they have defined things that effective team leaders do. They organize the team, they identify and articulate clear goals, they assign tasks and responsibilities, they monitor and modify the plan and communicate changes using the techniques that we just talked about. They review team performance and provide feedback. They manage and allocate resources, facilitate information sharing. They encourage team members to assist one another, which is another principle, mutual support, that we'll talk about in a little bit. They facilitate conflict resolution in a learning environment, and it's important that conflict resolution leads to a learning outcome. And they model effective teamwork. They model the behaviors that we want to see from everyone. The next principle is situation monitoring. And Team STEPPS defines situation monitoring as continually scanning and assessing a situation to gain and maintain an understanding of what's going on around you. And it's an individual skill that contributes to team outcomes. So if everybody's employing it, the team outcome is better. And some of the components of situation monitoring, or things that you should be monitoring, are the status of the project, the team members, which could include, like time off, or maybe they have something else going on that you could recognize and offer help. or support, the environment, and the progress towards the goal. And then the last principle I want to talk about is mutual support. Mutual support principles include task assistance. It's important to foster an environment where task assistance is actively sought and offered. And so, you know, when you're employing your situational monitoring and you say, hey, this team member's got something going on, you can offer assistance. And they should feel comfortable asking for assistance as well. It's important to have feedback that is timely, respectful, specific, directed towards improvement, and considerate. It's also important to have an environment where advocacy and assertion is encouraged. Everybody needs to be empowered to speak. In the military and medicine, historically, it has been very hierarchical. Is that a word? Hierarchical? Anyway, and they found that that contributes to poor patient outcomes because, you know, the doctors or the captains or whatever, they're so accustomed to not being challenged that when, you know, the boots on the ground who notice the problem first speak up, they, in the past, were just kind of disregarded. So in building this environment where everybody feels like they're empowered to speak up, you improve the outcomes of your projects. And part of that is the 2 challenge rule. When you're speaking up, you have a responsibility to voice your concern at least twice for taking further action if the concern isn't addressed. And when you're doing that, don't be afraid to use cuss words. As a sailor, I am intimately familiar with many exotic cuss words, but the ones I'm thinking of today are, I am concerned, I am uncomfortable, and this is a safety situation. So don't be afraid to use those cuss words if you feel like you need to. And that's that. Does anyone have any questions? No? Cool. Thanks for having me today.